Holla!
Holla!
Hello, everyone.
How goes it?
We are so happy to be back with you this week. We realized that a lot of you were really distraught, actually, that we didn't release an episode last week. And for that, we are truly sorry.
We are very sorry because we don't want our listeners to ever feel distraught.
We had a little bit going on. Not that our lives are that busy compared to the normal person, because they're not.
I mean, yeah, Terri, we're famous, though. We're hot commodities.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Got a lot of name recognition out there.
Yeah, Joe Biden's got nothing on us.
I know.
People know our name more.
So let's be honest here. I'm busy these days binging Fauda on Netflix.
Oh, you
That's
love
where I'm
your
spending my
Fauda.
time.
You love it.
I literally can't stop watching it.
It's kind of sick, and I'm ashamed for you.
I'm watching it like deep into the night, and yeah.
Prevents me from being able to watch my Bruins. So I'm up until 2 a.m. watching the Bruins game.
That you've recorded.
Yep. It's all about Fauda.
It is. Not only are we 1 week behind, we're also a day late in our actual recording, right, Mandy?
Day late and a dollar short.
But Mandy, why are we late in our recording? Why didn't we get to this last night?
Okay. First off, it's because of King. But I need you to...
Always blame it on King.
No, you're right. It's really probably my fault because I freaked out about it. So King is a hound dog. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Yeah. Crying all the time. Anywho, that's what he was doing. He was crying. Whinging at something that had fallen in a crevice.
It was the size of
like
an
ant
molecule.
couldn't. Yeah, an ant couldn't even have gotten to this crevice where this piece of jerky was. And like he just sat the whole time.
We're trying to record in the kitchen, and he was just facing the stove like the kid from Blair Witch Project in the corner of the room.
Just staring.
Staring in between in this crevasse. And you couldn't get at it no matter what you did.
I couldn't. I started with a knife. I tried to get a straw up in there. Like, because that
was thick.
Both of those were, you'd think a knife would be thin enough to get under there. They're flat. You would Nope. Then I could try to think of what other tools I tried, but so
Mandy tried for about 30 minutes to cut a wire hanger
with every possible thing I could think of in the house. Like kitchen shears, didn't touch it. I have a super sharp other pair of scissors, didn't touch it. I literally had my dad's huge jack of all trades. I don't even know what it is, some kind of tool that had 100 different knives on it. And
like a Swiss Army knife of the apocalypse. It has every tool.
Is that what they're called? Swiss Army
But
knife.
it just has more things.
Everything. Not one thing. Terri, in the meantime, is telling me to try to find a different hanger because maybe there would be a thinner one that I could just break apart or something had cut. And I was like, back off, man. I'm using this one. The classic dude role of I'm too stubborn and I'm not going to admit that this isn't working. Terri is in the other room finally, I can't handle this right now. So I took another wire hanger. Lo and behold, the shearers worked. And so I was like, yeah, Terri, you're right.
So you got to this thing.
I finally got to this thing.
To this freaking little piece of jerky that you can barely see.
No,
That's
seriously,
how microscopic this
I
size
had a
is.
flashlight in between this little tiny hole that I was trying to get into. I'm like, Terri, there's nothing in there. So we tried to sit down and start recording again. And then King was all again. And I'm like, oh my God.
I can't work like this.
Yeah. So finally I was able to get it out. And it was literally I think of it like a molecule. I think you said earlier, I can't even.
And we're like, here, you filthy SOB. Are you happy now,
King?
I
threw it at him.
You
and
did.
then it was on the floor and I couldn't even find it
because it was so small.
Yeah. So needless to say, that was a fun
That derailed
time.
us a bit last
A little
night.
yeah. We were not really in the mood for recording as we are this evening with our nice hot teas.
Right. We have hot tea.
Yep,
We got the
Terry's-
chapstick. We've got the water.
Oh, and so, yes. So the normal routine for our podcast
The
prep,
ritual.
we're normally delayed because of Terri. She needs her wine. She needs water. She needs tissues. She needs chapstick. And she needs to go to the bathroom. I think that's it, right? Those are the 5 steps. So now we've gotten to the point that I'm like, okay, Terri, do you have your wine? Do you have your chapstick? She didn't have the tissues this evening, people. I had to take it and put it right next. It would have been. So I'm like, here are your tissues. Let's do this.
And here we are. So yeah, in this past week, as we all know, I was in DC with that house and dog sitting gig. Mm-hmm. So I got back from that trip to DC area and Pennsylvania, Bucks County, PA. Got back late last week.
What was that trip for you, Teresa?
It was really awesome.
Care to describe it a little bit more than being really awesome?
It was wonderful. It was wonderful to catch up and reconnect with old friends. So I got to see a lot of people. Of course, the old outside get-togethers, right? With the old COVID happening.
It is the Cove.
But of course, my primary responsibility was to care for Winston the dog. He was great. He's a great dog. Love him.
What?
I know I should watch what I say because King gets jealous, and actually sort of Mandy gets jealous if I say
totally
anything
normalize.
positive about any other dog.
Doesn't matter. King is very sensitive, and I want him to not listen to anything you're saying by saying anything about another dog.
Okay, I guess I'm hurting his feelings. So
yeah, he's crying.
All right, so yeah. Back in DC. Okay, so yes, it was great. Beautiful weather, beautiful dog. Got to see my beautiful friends. So all in all, total success.
Yeah, you were really happy there. You had a really good time. I was really happy while you were gone as well.
Thank you. Oh, and speaking of successful, all my friends down there are like super successful.
Whoa.
Yeah, man. They're like, most of them are lawyers. Lawyers. You met Todd. You know, senior Capitol Hill staffers. We've got, presidential appointees and people who work within the intelligence community.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
these people are like super cool.
It's insane.
They are. It's quite impressive. So,
but do these successful people have a podcast, Terry?
No, they don't. None of them have podcasts.
Well,
that I'm aware of.
We're going to mark one off for us for winning.
Totally. And Ellen took me to the Annapolis Yacht Club for lunch. That was quite special.
That is fancy pants. And I'd just like to say, actually, you have friends everywhere. And I'm very impressed with that.
Well, I did live down there.
True, but I honestly just don't know why people like you. But you do.
That's really the point of what you're saying. So, but it was great. Visited them, and then as we know, I watched several movies. That I talked about the war movies last week. I should mention that I didn't watch war movies exclusively because you can't do that.
Yeah, thank God. That would just
gets a little intense. Did I tell you about the time that I binged Band of Brothers? First of all, that's just a great production.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you got to see it. I'll watch it again. But I binged that, and that is just not a good idea.
Because time out. Is Donnie Wahlberg in that one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah. And also, what's his name? Why I always forget his name from Office Space and from Sex and the City. Burger.
Oh, I don't know his name.
Ron something.
Ron.
Oh, anyway, yeah,
Just
he's
Ron.
great. So, and Damian Lewis is in it. It's like what? Freaking all-star cast. There's a bunch of people in it. So
Damian Lewis Brody.
Yeah. So the thing is, you binge something like Band of Brothers, and I swear I couldn't sleep at night. I'd have dreams that I was like in the Ardennes, like in the Battle of the Bulge myself.
Of course.
These are the sorts of dreams I was having.
You watch and binge
it
your
messes
war
with
movies.
your sleep patterns.
Yeah. I mean, and you can't sleep as it is. So to be sitting at, that was just a stupid idea to do that.
So I'd watch stuff like Key and Peele to sort of lighten it up.
Ooh.
You got to throw those sorts of things in there.
You do. Yep.
Hopefully. Oh, and also Winston likes Captain America.
Oh, it's Winston who liked
yes.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
We didn't watch the whole thing. We had it on the background, NBD.
NBD.
He also likes PBS.
He does he? Mm-hmm. But is he a huge Judy Woodruff fan like King?
Not as much as King.
Well,
absolutely not.
King is one of those dogs that loves his Judy Woodruff, and his crying and whinging and walking around and pacing like a weirdo always happens around 6 p.m. Eastern time. And Terry and I are like, what is your problem? Then we realize it's Judy Woodruff.
And we're like 3 minutes late for the PBS NewsHour. So,
and like, we're not exaggerating. He literally is
he comes down once we put it on.
I think part of it is because of her last name.
Okay.
Woodruff. Get it, Terry?
Good one.
Did you get it?
That was great.
What else was notable on your trip, Teresa?
Okay. I did unwittingly purchase $45 worth of cheese at Eastern Market.
It seems like a normal thing for you to do, though.
You're right. Let me clarify. It's not the actual expenditure that's shocking here. I bought like 70 or 80 euros worth of cheese in Paris. So it's not about that money. It's what I got for that $45.
What did you get for that $45?
Dude, I got like 3 small blocks.
What on earth is wrong with you?
Well, I don't know what hit me. This is what happened. This guy at Eastern Market, Mandy, I've brought you there when I used to live down there. I brought you to Eastern Market. You've got you got people peddling their wares.
Yeah, I got some really good jewelry over there. I remember
from the artisans. So the same family has owned the cheese stall inside for decades, I think. Right?
Wow, that's awesome.
They're known. They have really, really good cheese, and they had some samples, and I got sucked in. I was intoxicated by the smell of cheese. Okay, I was tasting delicious things.
Just hypnotized.
Yeah, I was hypnotized. He's like, the cheese produced from this milk. This milk comes from like Vestal Virgin cows in these hills of Virginia, and they produce, like 1 cup of milk per month. It is like gold.
Dear Lord, let that be an exaggeration.
Yeah, it's a bit exaggerated.
Okay, because I was like, dude, you got duped.
Meaning it was an exclusive product, and they were delicious, but you just didn't get much for $45. So that happened. That was a little annoying, but
I mean, well,
NBD.
it was good though.
I also, while I was down there, visited the International Spy Museum, Mandy.
Oh,
Dude,
my
I love
goodness.
the spy stuff, and it was awesome.
Was it? I'd like to hear more about that.
Was. Okay.
Didn't you get to make a name for yourself? Didn't you get to make like a spy name for yourself?
Oh, yeah. They totally assign you an alias and a cover.
Nice.
They have a section where they sort of feature famous spies.
Okay.
Okay. Over the years, they had like 6 of them, I think. And they also break up the exhibits based on, how countries spy and why they spy. So there's 2 different floors. Yeah.
Countries spy differently?
Well, they probably have some of the same techniques that are used universally, but I mean, they have their own stuff going on.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's why I'm like, a spy is a spy.
I'm not a spy expert. Let me clarify. You're asking me questions and I'm like, you're asking me about
Well, you
tools
do
and
have an
operations.
alias.
Okay, so we decided for this episode here, okay, because Mandy, I know you like hearing about real life spies too.
I do.
I wanted to share with you a story about one of the guys that I saw in the museum and saw his profile because it's just nuts. His story is bananas.
This S is bananas. Is it like that?
Bananas.
I don't know if I can handle this.
Okay.
I don't think you're ready for this jelly. Apparently, I'm just going to sing this whole time.
So when you go in, you're hit with some profiles of some of the famous spies over the years. Okay, you've got someone from Queen Elizabeth's court, Sir Francis Walsingham. It was like her spy master. I knew about him before. Yeah,
Okay.
he's got a cool story. Like Mata Hari and people like that, and some skinhead guy who infiltrated some white supremacist organizations and stuff.
I feel like talk about how scary and dangerous that job is. So legit.
Oh, big time. But
it ain't no walk in the park.
That ain't a walk in the park.
Nope.
That's I wouldn't call that an easy job.
No.
So, but there was this one Russian spy.
Ooh.
Okay. And his name is Dmitry. I'm going to totally butcher this. It's
Probably.
Dmitry Bistrolyotov.
It's not bad.
Okay.
Can we just call him D?
Bistrolyotov. Yeah. Some people have heard of him, I'm sure, who are listening to this podcast, but
I have not.
yeah, I know. I'm that's why I'm telling you about
I'm
him.
fully aware
Why I'm
that you don't know who this
educating
person
you.
is.
Yeah.
Educate me.
They have a short video feature, a reenactment. And guess who played the Russian spy?
Was it Chris Evans?
No, good guess.
Was it that effing guy?
Which effing guy are you talking about?
The guy from the Al Pacino show?
No. Russian.
The dude from The Americans?
Yes.
Oh my God.
The
I love
Americans
him.
and from Homeland. Costa
He was in Homeland?
Ronan.
Oh no, that guy who played
Yeah,
Oleg.
the guy that
Oleg.
Oleg.
Okay.
Yeah, Oleg from The Americans.
Oh, that's
so he played this spy guy, right? So and he sort of stood up and told a story like in a 5-minute segment sort of thing. Thought you would like that because you have a big crush on him.
I love the Russian accent, man. Something else.
So let me also preface by saying this is not a spy podcast. Okay, so we're not here. You don't expect to hear information on spies, but this guy's story was just so outrageous that
Awesome.
Okay.
Say more about it.
So Dmitry was born in 1901 in Crimea.
Ooh.
Okay, Ukraine. All right. He was born out of wedlock.
Oh, I'm sure that was
The poor guy was a bastard.
that bastard son of his.
Dmitry was recruited by the Soviet secret police after the Russian Revolution and the Russian Civil War. So
Wow.
this is like a lot of stuff going on in the early 20th century in Russia.
For side note, Terri is a history major or was a history major. I don't know if we've addressed that at all. So she knows all this stuff or like, well, I mean.
No, I don't. I'm like an armchair. I look on Wikipedia and research stuff online.
Okay. Can I just make it sound like you're smarter than you are for 5 seconds?
Sure. He was recruited by the Soviet secret police
Whoa.
after the revolutions and the Civil War because there was a lot of stuff going on.
Okay.
All right. So there's like, you've got revolutions, you've got a lot of violence, a lot of unrest and upheaval in Russia and in Eastern Europe around that time. Things were a mess in Eastern Europe.
Mess.
Yeah, they were a hot mess.
Over it. Yep.
He joined a flow of refugees out of Russia and he settled in, guess where?
Massachusetts.
No. Prague.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
I love our Prague friends and I miss
We're
them
like,
dearly.
Dimitri. Yeah, no, we love Prague. Hey, Prague in the house. Anyone listening here from Prague?
Yeah.
Big shout out to you.
Shout out.
So here, what's crazy when you hear the rest of this story is, well, first of all, his story is like more outrageous than you could write in a movie or anything. So you will find out. But what's crazy when you hear all of it is that he was never actually formally trained or appointed by the Soviet Union.
So he was basically a naturally born spy.
Well, he was just, I mean, I think super sharp and he didn't go through like a formal training program
Wicked
is what
sharp.
I mean to say.
Was he wicked sharp?
And I got that information from the CIA website.
Really? They have that stuff on the CIA website?
Well, they had a review of a book about him.
Okay.
So
Great.
he was one of the illegals. All right. So he was good at blending into other cultures. And at this time, fascism and Nazism were like on the rise. And it was, he was working to get secrets from Germany between World War I and World War II.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That guy had a
He had a big job. He did
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. He
Yeah.
spoke many languages, Mandy. He was a polyglot.
What does that word
It
mean?
means he speaks a lot of languages.
Hashtag word of the day. Okay. I hate it.
Apparently, he spoke almost 20 languages.
What?
Yeah. That included Chinese and Japanese and Turkish.
Dude.
Yeah. And apparently, he was quite dashing.
Well,
all right.
Did they have a photograph of this?
Yeah, there's plenty of
Dimitri.
photographs. Yes, he was dashing, very charming, and his MO was to seduce women and get them to work for the Soviets. Okay, like he would get information from secretaries that worked in embassies, and he would,
It's hot. How many was he able to recruit?
I don't have particular numbers. He had a lot of assets. He had a ton of assets. Okay, he got some powerful people too. Like he got a lot of detailed information for Stalin. Okay, so he was getting all the information.
He was just getting all the
information for
just taking care of business.
This guy was the cream of the crop of undercover operatives.
Okay. All right. Sounds like it.
He mostly worked in Western Europe and he did everything. I mean, he hobnobbed with high up officials and he socialized with people and he freaking crossed jungles and deserts. I'm talking, this is how covert his stuff was.
That's insane.
Yeah. And he stole some major secrets from the British, okay, which is his biggest thing is he stole a bunch of secrets from the British and like ciphers from other countries. So,
wow, this guy.
Yeah, his work was, he did a lot for Russia, for Mother Russia. So just an all-around great spy, right?
Sounds like it, yeah.
Okay. Want to know the sort of thanks he got from Stalin for this?
He was shot in the head.
He was not.
Okay, what kind of
That's
thanks
a good
did he
guess,
get?
though. Mandy, in the 30s, Stalin was being all paranoid about everything and everyone.
Okay.
And he was on a killing and purging spree. There 1 million people died in the Great Purge there. Okay.
Insane.
During this time in the late 30s, he was recalled back to the Soviet Union and he was arrested and tortured until he gave a false confession for selling secrets to the enemy. And he was beaten so brutally that he was made a semi-invalid.
Oh my God.
And we're not done yet.
Wow.
So like
this poor guy.
As if we didn't know that Stalin was like the biggest douchebag on earth. Like, look at this. Hey, thanks for your service.
Yeah.
Thanks for your years of
crossing
service
jungles and deserts for stuff.
to get Hitler's notes for me. Yeah. Okay.
And let me torture you.
So after the arrest and the torture and the beating and the false confessions, he was then sentenced to the Gulag for 20 years.
What's the Gulag?
These are these horrific forced labor camps that
my
many people
God.
died in Russia over a couple decades. Yeah.
For 20 years.
It's like they would just send people there and they would die from either overwork or disease or starvation or whatever.
Oh my
Gulags were like the most terrible places to be on earth. He spent 16 years in the Gulag.
Shut the front door.
When he was there, his mother and his wife were so ostracized. They had no money or food for anything or any means to get it. So they committed suicide.
Jeez. Oh my God. I was going to say Jesus Christ, but my parents would be upset. I just said it anyway. But holy crap, man.
Yeah.
This is like you said, you can't even write this stuff.
I know.
This is like my heart is breaking. Why are you making me cry again? Talk about glory.
We're crying over a Russian spy. I'm just trying to say, picture. Okay, so the mother and the wife, like I'm telling you, the Russians, they've just suffered a lot over the years. There's a lot of tragedy there.
Yeah.
Okay, those are some hardy people. They've seen a lot of bad shit. In the camp, he wrote his memoir.
Okay.
Which that would have been a story in and of itself, how he actually got this thing written, because you could be punished brutally for writing. You're not supposed to be doing that sort of stuff.
Wow.
I don't even know what he wrote it on. I think he had to smuggle stuff in just to write and have the proper tools to even write anything. And then through people there, they smuggled out the memoir eventually.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that memoir was like, a story about his life and also an indictment, which I would venture to say was fairly scathing by this point of communism.
I would venture to say that as well. Yes, I concur.
As a side note, as if he didn't already have a robust enough skill set, he was also a talented writer, screenwriter, and artist.
God, I think he was a robot. This man was a robot. There's no way. Or an extraterrestrial.
Cyborg.
Yeah. There's no way he was an actual human being.
So after he was out of the Gulag and, starting his life over in Moscow, he worked as a translator and a medical consultant for a while. And then he died in 1975.
Wow. This is just sad. Can we maybe make it a little bit more funny? My favorite part is that Oleg was in.
Played him at the International Spy Museum. Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. I would go.
That guy's in everything. He must, all he does is play Russian spies. He's got to be one.
There's no way he's not.
We're done with DC. Great trip. Then I went to Bucks County, PA for a couple nights with my bestie, Eileen.
Oh, we love Eileen and the fam.
We do. We love the fam. Haven't seen her kids in years. So it was really, really lovely. So while I was visiting Eileen, Mandy, I introduced her to Defending Jacob, starring Chris Evans.
Oh, Oh, great series and great book. Am I right?
Yeah, right. You read the book.
I did.
I did not read the book, but I did enjoy that limited series very much. As a side note here for the listeners, I do have to mention this about Chris Evans here. We've talked about him a couple times. Obviously, I have a thing for him, and so do millions of other people. I'm not unique in that respect, but I am unique in one respect.
Tell us about that, Terry.
I didn't even know who he was really until Defending Jacob a year ago.
I literally, she said, she's like, oh yeah, Chris Evans. I'm like, dude, you don't know who Chris Evans is?
I knew he existed, and I knew vaguely that he was Captain America, but I hadn't seen any of the Avengers. I saw Iron Man, but I hadn't seen any of the other Avenger movies. But
I'm like, he would be on the advert.
I don't know. Obviously, I was living under a rock for many years.
Get your head out of your buttock.
But I'm not anymore.
No, you got that head. You pulled it right out.
I discovered Chris Evans in his dramatic role in Defending Jacob, so I'm proud of that.
You are. He nailed that role too. It was great. It was a great series.
It was
and then Mary
Michelle Dockery. Oh my God, love that woman. So yeah, that's the trip.
So, I mean, that sounds like an awesome trip, Terry, but I do have one final question for you.
What's that?
Did you meet any gentleman that would take you away from spinsterhood?
Nah.
Well, thank the sweet baby Jesus for that. Because what would we do if we didn't have the spinster sisters?
Don't worry about it, kid.
Okay, good. Because
we're all the same status.
We're the same
status after that trip. Don't worry about it.
I mean, we don't want the whole podcast to be a sham. So I feel like there was more that went on since the last episode.
I went down with Denny to the Cape to check out that seasonal gig last week.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which we know, unfortunately, will not be working out. I'm grossly unqualified for that role, but it's okay.
It is okay. We're going to get her a seasonal job somewhere else. Don't worry.
But we did have to check it out, so it was not a wasted trip. And Denny and I had a wonderful day down in Hyannis, and we rendezvoused with the Bandas because they happened to be in Hyannis the same day.
How serendipitous.
It was. Oh, yeah. Another big highlight of the weekend is Dave Epstein, the local meteorologist from WBUR.
Oh.
Liked my comment on his tweet.
Whoa. Well, I don't know why we didn't lead with that story.
No, it's such big news.
It's huge news.
Oh, for those of you who don't know Dave Epstein, you should totally listen to him and listen to his podcast. And he's a great local meteorologist here. He'll give you more than just the weather. I'm telling you, I learned so much.
She does. She swears by this.
I swear.
Man.
And he's so accurate. He's more accurate than anyone else. You know exactly. Hey, is there going to be a increase in humidity levels later? Okay, my hair is going to get frizzy. Oh, do I need to bring a cardigan because it might drop 15 degrees or maybe an umbrella for a chance of rain? You'll know all this.
She lives and dies by Dave Epstein. I mean, people like when he liked her comment on Twitter, she was like, oh, Andy, she was so excited. And I mean, frankly, I don't blame her. I fully understand where Terry's coming from this because I had posted something and Ricky Gervais liked my post.
Which is big time.
It was. And especially because it was a picture of King.
Oh, of course he liked that.
King's
he loves the
now.
old animals. Then we had Easter.
Oh, good old Easter with Mary and Jack.
In my Easter bonnet.
People, this woman that's sitting across from me right now was trying to get me to kill myself.
I wore an Easter bonnet.
We get it. Yeah, Terry got a hat that she was in love with. It's a really cute hat.
Yeah, little cap, little flowers on it.
So the second she put it on, she's like, in my Easter bonnet.
Well, I did.
That's how you sing it.
Were you trying to be like John Bon Jovi?
I don't know what I was trying to do.
I'm not sure.
All I
was doing Bing Crosby. I don't know what you were doing just then.
And I mean, I honestly thought Bing Crosby was in the house.
I know.
It was that good.
I sound just like him.
I just sound like some weirdo trying to sing it.
But yeah, then we had to get to Mary and Jackson. I couldn't stop singing the Easter Parade. And then Mom knew all the words, so we had to ask Alexa, who's going to respond? Right. Okay, we had to ask her to play it, and we played it a couple times, and that was great fun.
Terry still today will still bring it up. In my Easter bonnet.
I could write a sonnet about your Easter bonnet.
Whoa, you're a nerd. While Terry was listening to her Easter bonnet and singing her Easter bonnet song, I was taking selfies with our mother. The most obnoxious selfies in the world. Like, this woman is a saint. She's taking years off purgatory every time I'm sitting next to her. So I'm taking pictures and being a complete moron in them and being like, Mom, make a funny face, make a funny face. And I showed them to Terry and she was laughing hysterically because she was like, you look like the girl in the closet from The Ring.
That picture of her contorted face, twisted and frozen face from the selfie with our mother, she looked like the chick from the closet in The Ring.
Regardless,
we're gonna post pictures of this on our social media after, so you can see what we're talking about.
Can't believe I agreed to that.
And then see if you disagree with me. I invite you to disagree with me at that point.
Oh,
so what else
God.
happened on Easter, Mandy?
We got to move the bed. We had to rotate the bed. Yes, we did, Andy. We did get to rotate.
Andy
the
was
bed.
so psyched because we had to rotate Mary and Jack's king size mattress.
Which, yeah, if seasonally Mary and Jack will ask us to do that. And by Mary and Jack, it's Mary, because Jack could care less. But yeah, so when that was asked of us, Andy just wanted to step up. That's right, Andy. I wanted to step up. I just wanted to rotate 1,000 times and not stop. Andy, you gotta take it down 1,000.
Andy totally picked up my slack
I was so happy to do it
because I was useless.
could not have
And
been
I was just laughing the whole time because Andy was talking
and
throughout the
we're
whole
all
thing.
Like, yeah, thanks, Terry. This is really helpful
And
of you.
I just laughed. And so basically Andy and Mary and Jack took care of the situation.
The whole time, yeah. Andy rules.
Oh my God. And we had the best dessert on Easter.
Yes.
Okay.
We have some left over right now, too.
Yeah. We're going to tear into that after we're done recording here. But that cake was touched by,
Top-notch.
I'm not going to say this would be blasphemous, but I think Jesus Christ came down from heaven and baked that cake at the old Whole Foods bakery. I had been eyeing that cake for weeks, looking for any reason at all to buy it. And of course, poor Mary had asked us to bake a cake sort of last minute. And then we got our act together very late. And by the time we got grocery shopping, there were like no berries left in the whole store. So anyway, the point was Mom wanted something with yellow cake and berries and a cream frosting, something. So this chantilly cake I've been looking at.
Chantilly lace cake?
Well, that's what we made it. Why don't you tell us about chantilly lace?
Well, first of all, let's talk about the Big Bopper, right? He's the one that like made this song famous. I'm the one that's going to like revive it to 2021. Ready for this?
Mandy, why don't you share with the listeners the song that inspired you on Easter Sunday in our dessert with Mary and Jack?
Chantilly lace and a pretty face, ponytail hanging down, a wiggle and a walk and a giggle and a talk. Make the world go round, round, round. There ain't nothing in the world like a big-eyed girl to make you act so funny. Make me spend my money, make me feel real loose, like a long-necked goose, like a girl. Oh, baby, that's what I like. Nailed it.
So it was quite an Easter. And we hope that you and yours had happy Passover, Easter, anything you celebrate. Manny, that was just an amazing performance.
Yep.
And I think we should leave on that high note. Until next time, deuces. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe to the Spinster Sisters podcast on Apple or Google Podcasts or Spotify. And please follow us on social media,
where our Twitter handle is @SistersSpinster. You can also find us on Instagram @TheSistersSpinster and on Facebook @The Spinster Sisters Podcast. You can also email us at thespinstersisterspodcast@gmail.com. Bye!